Good morning, Pelham Road. It's Storytelling Friday, so I hope you're ready for a story. And just a secret between you and I, it's really not morning. I'm doing this in the evening. But don't tell anybody. Well, this story goes back about 4, 5, 6 years ago. A couple in the church and Joanne and I had traveled to Scotland together. And in preparation for the trip to Scotland, we divided up the itinerary, and they made some of the arrangements for cars and hotels, and we made some of the other arrangements for cars and hotels, or actually more like hotels. And one of the destinations that I was responsible for was the Isle of Skye, which is an absolutely beautiful part of Scotland. You can look that up on Wikipedia or look it up on Google and hit images. Isle of Skye, beautiful country. It's in the northwest of the country of Scotland, but frankly, all of Scotland is beautiful, but this is just absolutely beautiful country, but it is really rural. And so running down a place to stay became a little bit of a chore. We couldn't find a Comfort Inn or a Hampton Inn on every corner. In fact, you didn't find them on any corner. And so you were trying to find lodging in what we would call here in the States maybe a bed and breakfast. And so I had called a few places and, not gotten a room, but I finally found somebody who had a room. Now, bear in mind, kind of doing this somewhat on the internet, somewhat on phone conversations. And I know that they speak a version of English in Scotland, but it's not Southern English. And so there was a little bit of a communication barrier between myself and this lad. You see how I threw that in, lad? That's one of the things they say there in Scotland. You're a lad. Well, anyway, I finally found this place, and I talked to this guy, and the best I could gather was that yes, he had rooms in his place, and we could have rooms, but we had to share a bath. Well, that's not usual here in the States, but we usually get our own private bath here in the States, but when in Rome, do as the Romans, and I couldn't get a room anywhere else, so sure, we'll share a bath. That'll be fine. Yes, check the box. We can share the bath. And I told the couple, I said, we're gonna have to share a bath when we get up to the Isle of Skye. And they said, that's fine, we can share a bathroom, that's good. And so we're on our way. It was a long day to get to the Isle of Skye from where we started that morning. A lot of sightseeing, a lot of driving. We were really tired, and when we got to this little town, well, this place was harder to find than you might imagine. GPS sent us really to this rural village that was like right on the coastline, and lots of sheep in the road, and lots of sheep, lots of fields, very few people. Couldn't see how they could have a bed and breakfast out here. I didn't see the bed or the breakfast. And we finally knocked on enough doors to get pointed in the right direction. And so we finally started down what we thought was the place where this inn was. And we still couldn't find it, even though it was staring us right in the face. But eventually the owner just comes out in the street and kind of runs us down and jumps in the back seat in between Joanne and this other couple's wife. He was a little bit of he was special. And we finally found the place, we got parked, and turns out that whatever the bed and breakfast was called, something inn, he was also a life coach. So underneath it said like the Arbor Inn, and then it said Mike the life coach. So Mike was a real hustler here. He had a lot of things on the side, not just the bed and breakfast going for him, but he was a life coach. I don't know what a life coach is, but he was one. I'm not saying he was a good one or a bad one. I don't know. I didn't test his ability on it. But anyway, we unload our luggage and we go inside, and he's very excited to see us, and we're excited to be there. We're really excited to be anywhere. And we go up, and he stops and he says, now here is the bath. He shows us the bath. And it is there where we learn that we're not just sharing the bath with this couple that we traveled with. We're sharing this bath with everybody in the inn. Yes, I kind of know what you're thinking here. Yes, we are sharing the bathroom with everybody in the end. It's just, it's a bath on a hall. It's like a dorm. And not only that, but getting it to have hot water was quite the trick. You had to pull this, push that, and turn this knob about 3/4 of the way around. And you had to do that for 30 seconds and then do something else for another 30 seconds. And you finally got hot water. And then the hot water lasted about 30 seconds. So, you know, I could look at the other couple and tell that I was getting in some hot water, not literally because we didn't have it, but 30 seconds worth, but that I was in a bit of hot water with them, because that's not what they signed up for. Well, then he opens the door to a bedroom, and in this bedroom is one full bed and 3 single beds. And he says, in his Scottish accent, "Here's your room." And I say in my Southern accent, "Where's the other room?" And he goes, "Here's your room." And I look at Mike, the life coach, and I go to Mike, "Where's the other room? There's 2 couples here." He said, "All right here, all of you right here." Well, I felt terrible. Whether it was communication or whether I wasn't listening, I had booked us the family room. Yes, the family room for 2 adult couples. And we were sharing the same bath. And by the way, we were sharing the same bath, I don't know if I mentioned this, but with everybody on the hall with us too. And I think I covered it, but the hot water was only about 30 seconds long. Now, I'm not saying that these were the only accommodations. They were the only accommodations I could find. But you do see how I have royally screwed this up for everybody. I mean, we're all now sleeping in the family room. And if you've never slept with me, well, I guess none of you have, but you know, I'm a snorer. And so I had to stay up till everybody went to sleep, because if I went to sleep first, nobody else was going to go to sleep. So we're all stuck in the family room together, and we all have to share this bath. Now, if this was for one night, we could all probably suck it up and do it. But this couple had to suck it up and do it for 3 nights. Well, of course, I was upset. I mean, I was disappointed in myself. And they rolled with it like champs. Even Joanne just rolled with it like a champ. I was probably the only one who was truly horrified. Now, if you want to say what the moral of this story is, well, other than don't travel with me, the other more lasting moral is the importance of forgiveness. I mean, I had royally screwed this thing up, and they could have, if they had wanted their pound of flesh, they could have taken their pound of flesh. But they were very forgiving, and they just kind of just chalked it up to, you know, it's not an adventure until there's a problem. And so the travel ended and the adventure began at the Isle of Skye. So when people when you find yourself where someone has not lived up to your expectations, or they've done you wrong, or you've perceived that they've done you wrong, forgive them. And be willing to ask for forgiveness when you've done wrong. God forgives us all. He really does. And all he asks is for us to continue to pass that on when our humanity bleeds through and we don't act as we should. And sometimes we disappoint those around us. So I'm thankful that we were traveling with 2 Christians. Well, actually with Joanne it would have been 3 Christians, but I'm glad that we were all Christian about it and able to extend to one another forgiveness. Have a great weekend. Bye.